Is that your brother? Oh. Huh.
You don't have to smile.
Holy cow. I'm tired, babe.
So thank you guys for coming. I'll try to make this kind of short and a little bit sweet. What we're going to discuss today is whether moving to the beach is better for your mental health. Obviously, we've all been on vacations. Obviously, we know how good we feel when we're on vacations, right? Well, is it actually better for us? So according to studies at Michigan State University, as well as all over New Zealand, they have found that living within a proximity of water actually is better for your mental health, because living within blue space changes the way that your brain works. So today we're going to discuss, why does water help with depression, what is green and what is blue space, and do each of them affect our brain differently? So like I just said, living close to proximity to water has multiple benefits to our mental health, especially mental illnesses like depression and anxiety. Study has shown that being near water does make us calmer and healthier. According to Michael DeBlege, a chairman for the Environment of Human Health at the University of Exeter Medical School, he states that there is a clear correlation between the close proximity to a body of water and better psychological and overall health outcomes. Like I said, we've all been to the beach. We know how good it makes us feel. So every time you step onto the beach, more than one of your senses has been heightened. Sounds. If any of you guys have any of those sound boxes in your house?
Yes.
I don't know how to use those. Next doesn't work. Anyways, so I don't know if any of you guys have any of those sound boxes in your house, but there definitely is going to be a setting on there that's crashing waves. And the reason for that is because it actually has been proven to put you in a more meditative state. It changes the way that our brain waves work, and it actually can calm us down a lot faster. Another one is scent. So the ocean's air has negative ions inside of it, and every time you take a breath of that fresh air, it calms you down instantly. Sight has been another one that has been proven to completely change the way that our brain works. Just looking over the ocean and seeing that blue space changes the way that our brain perceives what we're looking at, perceives the way that we are, I don't know, taking in calm and taking in good. According to a quote from Bioscience magazine, experiences in visible nature may act to improve people's mental health. Also, Richard Schuster, a clinical psychologist, said that staring at the ocean actually does change the way that our brain works and puts us into a mild meditative state. Sense and touch. So every time that you take your flip-flops off and you put your feet down in the sand, you're grounding. And if you are a hippie or a scientist or anybody else in the world, you've heard that term before. And so just like when we take in that breath of fresh air, our feet do the exact same thing. We absorb those free ions through the sand, through that texture, just by standing there by the ocean. So what is green space and what is blue space? We live in beautiful Utah, so we have a lot of green space. More green space than some people would like. I still don't know how to use this. Yay. So if you look outside, you're going to see our beautiful Olympus Mountains. If you go to Antelope Island, if you go to any of our parks that we have all across here, any of our private landscapes that we have, a lot of our undeveloped landscapes, those are all going to be your green spaces. Our blue spaces are going to be our lakes, our oceans that we don't have here, our seas, our marinas, our rivers, those things that actually really do impact our mental health. So nature has a positive influence on self-esteem. It's got a positive influence on our anger and on our mental restoration. But more than just what green space does, our blue space actually just calms us down mentally. It's all good for us, but blue space is better for us mentally. According to a study that was done at the University of Hawaii, they took a huge study done on all their coastal residents, and they proved to have less depression, they proved to be more active. Cool. This is just pretty pictures now. So anyway, over at University of Hawaii, so they did a study on all of their coastal residents. For all of the people that surfed, those people used words like spiritual, like my church, like meditative. They used those things because that's the state that being on the water put them in. Those people proved to have significantly less depression and anxiety than anybody else living on the coast that didn't participate in those activities. So like I've said, green space is great, which is great for all of us living in here in Utah. But what about blue space? And what about those that suffer from mental illness, like me? Granted, I would love to get up and move to the beach, but it's not really probable. So what can we do in our everyday to make this obtainable? What can we do every day to make sure that all of our senses are being heightened the way that they need to be? Do we need more lake days? Do we need more river days? Do we need to pack up and move to Cancun, which I'm not entirely against? See what else we have. So here's our conclusion. Living next to the water is definitely better for our mental health. Like I said, are we all supposed to just get up and move? It's just not very plausible. So it leaves us with the question, what are we expected to do? Yeah, that's all. Okay, great. Okay, here's all the people.
Do we applause?
Applause would be great, thank you.